Hello, my dear friends. How are you? I hope that you are all fine today. This is Mrs. Rasada from Science Team at New Generation Language School. By the end of this video, students will be able to identify the organs of respiratory system. So, our session for today is about a respiratory system. Respiratory system. So, what is the meaning of a respiratory system? It's a system that is responsible for breathing. Again, respiratory system, it's a system that is responsible for breathing, as you see in this picture. So we can breathe by using our respiratory system. By using the respiration process. So what is the meaning of respiration process? It's the process of entering the air, carrying the oxygen into the body and pushing out or get rid of the air, carrying carbon dioxide from the body. Again, respiration process. It's the process of entering and pushing out, entering oxygen and pushing out carbon dioxide. So look at this picture. This is our respiratory system. So respiratory system consists of number 1, nose. Number 2, trachea. Number 3, lungs. And finally, diaphragm. So our respiratory system consists of nose, trachea, 2 lungs, and finally diaphragm. Okay, someone to read? Okay, Ali? Excellent. Clap your hands for your friend. Okay, do you know that, my friend, our respiratory system starts with nose. And you know that it's the first organ of respiratory system. Nose, it's the first organ of respiratory system. And you know that the air enters through nose and mouth, okay? So the air enters to our body carrying oxygen by our nose or mouth, then down to the throat. So first nose, after that throat. Okay, then the air passes through trachea into 2 lungs. So number 1, nose, then throat, then trachea, after that 2 lungs. Look at this picture. There are our 2 lungs. The trachea is branched into 2 bronchi, which is divided into some smaller branches called bronchiales. That ends with air sacs or alveoli that take oxygen from the air to the blood. So the blood transfers the oxygen to all body cells. Okay, so first nose, throat, trachea, 2 lungs, and inside our 2 lungs, trachea is branched into 2 bronchi. So, and 2 bronchi divided into smaller branches called bronchiales, and that is end with air sacs or alveoli. So inside the alveoli, take oxygen from the air to the blood. The blood transfer the oxygen to all body cells. Okay, I think it's so easy now. So we have 2 processes. Number 1, inhalation process, and number 2, exhalation process. Again, inhalation process and exhalation process. First, inhalation process. During inhalation process, the air rich in oxygen enters the lungs. Again, the air rich in oxygen enters to the lungs. The size of the chest increases. So try to take the oxygen now. Yeah, excellent. So the size of your chest now increases. And Finally, diaphragm contracts and move downward. Contracts and move downward. Amazing. And during the exhalation process, try to get rid of carbon dioxide now. They're rich in carbon dioxide. Amazing. And the size now of your chest decreases. And finally, diaphragm relaxes and move upward. Super. So how can we keep our respiratory system healthy? Number one, breathing clear air. Breathing clean air. Number two, eating fruits rich in vitamin C like orange and guava. Finally, avoid smoking. Avoid smoking. Now it's your break time. Okay, now my friend, how fresh breathe? How? Anyone know? Okay, Asil? Okay, I think it's right. Yeah, excellent, Asil. Clever hands for your friend. Amazing. How fish breathe? Let me help you and tell you how fish breathe. Fish has gills, as you see in this picture. This is called gills. Gills. Gills instead of lungs in our body or in the human. Okay, so fish has gills, and the human body has lungs. Okay, so fish has gills to breathe instead of lungs in human. The water enters the mouth of the fish. Okay, so first, water enters the mouth of the fish and passes across the gills. Then the blood vessels in the gills carry the oxygen to all the body. Fish need clean water to survive. Fish need clear water to survive. Don't forget that. Okay? So, fish can breathe by using their gills. Okay, so what happens as the environment continue to change? We have two types of changing. Number one, if the change occurs slowly, the living organisms can adapt. Okay, so again, if the change occurs slowly, the living organisms can adapt. And if the change occurs rapidly, the living organisms will move, disappear, die, or even extinct. Okay, so we have two types of changes. Number one, slowly change, and number two, rapidly change. Okay, so if the change occurs slowly, the living organisms can adapt, and if the change occurs rapidly, the living organisms will move or die. Okay, so ecosystem changes caused by two things. Number one, nature. Number two, human. Again, number one, nature. Number two, humans. So first, nature. Number one, a change in temperature. Change in temperature. Number two, the amount of rainfall. The amount of rainfall. Number three, weather, like strong wind, as you see in this picture. And finally, wildfires and flood. Wildfires and flood. Okay, and number two, human activities, such as cutting down forests. Number two, blowing grassland. Blowing grassland. Number three, exhausts from cars and factories causes air pollution. air pollution. Number 4, throwing wastes in water cause water pollution, as you see in this picture. And finally, watering the soil with polluted water causes soil pollution. So we have cutting down forests, blowing grassland, air pollution, water pollution, and finally soil pollution. So, do you know that, my friend, air pollution affects humans as it damage the lungs and cause asthma and heart problems. So we have here two diseases. Number 1, asthma, and number 2, heart problems. Okay, so rule of human to restore ecosystem. Number 1, replanting, as you see in this picture, replanting the forests. And number 2, removing the pollution of air and water. Amazing. And now it's your break. You can eat one sandwich. Amphibians. Amphibians such as frogs, toads, salamanders. Repeat after me. Frogs, toads, salamanders. Perfect. First, amphibians. They can live in moists, such as golden frog. Look at this picture. This is a golden frog. They can live in moist environment like rainforests and ponds. Moist means its place has water, like rainforests and ponds. Okay. Number 2, they need water to survive. And finally, do you know that adult amphibians can breathe using lungs and skin? How? Using lungs on land, and also they can take an oxygen from water using their skin. So the amphibians can live on land and can live in water. Yeah, excellent. How? By taking the oxygen by using their lungs on land, and by taking the oxygen in water by using their skin. Okay, and you know that scientists are working to save many types of amphibians from extinction, like golden frog. As you see in this picture, amphibians are affected by number 1, air and water pollution, number 2, viruses that can travel through water. How to protect amphibians? For biologists and for people. For number 1, for biologists, understanding how amphibians breathe in air and water. Number 2, for people, clean water and air. Number 2, avoid throwing wastes in water. And finally, dispose of chemicals in a correct way to avoid water pollution. And I think that's enough for today, and thank you so much. See you later. Goodbye.